Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video, and welcome to a very rainy Milton Keynes Central on the West Coast Mainline South route. In real life today in the south of England, the weather is incredibly rainy with lots of showers dotted around and the occasional thunder, so if you hear anything through the microphone, that's what's causing it. If you hear like a distant rumble through the microphone. So I tried to set the weather to as close to real life as possible. I'm not using the live weather mod anymore because while it is very, very good, it uses the API and that just slows the game down for me. Anyway, today we're on the West Coast Mainline South route doing a run from Milton Keynes Central down to Euston in the newly updated Avanti West Coast Class 805 Evero by All Aboard Studios in the new, well, I say new, the full Evero timetable. There's a new Evero reduced timetable on this route if you have the 805. But yeah, as far as I can tell, that only removes one service. Maybe it removes some AI. I'm not entirely sure. But you'll have to let me know in the comments. But yeah, we're doing a non-stop run from here at Milton Keynes Central down to London Euston in some absolutely atrocious weather. So anyway, let's get started. We need to get the safeties on, ETCS, SDO, SDO, AWS, TPWS, Vigilance, DSD, TPWS, and Master Key. Put the wipers on. Yeah, this new update has also broken some of the cab buttons. Yeah, there used to be a signal icon here, now it's just a blank box. Great job, developers. I'm sure that's not all aboard. Whoops, forgot to unlock the doors. I'm sure that's not all aboard's fault. It's probably Dovetail who messed that up in some way, knowing them. Need to use... Yeah, for some reason this service starts with electric mode not being selected. So, yeah, there we go. Might depart slightly late here. Hang on, I just need to confirm a setting. Cab announcements 80%. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I used to have it on 100 and it was too loud. Next stop, Euston.
Welcome aboard this Avanti West Coast service to London Euston. We'll be calling at London Euston only.
So yeah, if you're wondering what the service is 1 Alpha 26 crew to Euston.
Please familiarise yourself with the safety notices displayed throughout the train.
So yeah, I presume this service will be playable on the West Coast Mainline Trent Valley route. And that is actually a nice segue into...
This is British Transport Police.
Never mind, hang on.
If you notice something out of the ordinary, speak to a member of staff or text us on 61016 and we'll get it sorted. That's 61016. See it, say it, sorted.
That's our first see it, say it, sorted of the day. So yeah, West Coast Mainline Trent Valley by All Aboard Studios, crew to Milton Keynes Central, coming out on June 9th, 2026. 108 miles of high-speed running. So yeah, I think it's going to be decent. All Aboard have a decent track record. The launch of Birmingham to Crewe was definitely not good, but Birmingham to Crewe has definitely been patched to a level where it could be considered acceptable, and I'm definitely considering getting it. We'll see. And also regarding the broken cab textures, there is a patch on the Train Sim community website that changes the hue of the Avanti livery slightly and also fixes the in-cab textures. But I wanted to show you how bad these buttons truly look. So yeah, we're straight up to 110 miles an hour as we come up on Bletchley. Turn the speed down. Yeah, that still gets rid of it. I think I just needed the faster speed at the station. 106 miles an hour. Unfortunately, I don't think the cruise control has been implemented yet. I think that is one of the things all aboard are wanting to do, but yeah, it hasn't been added in the latest update, that's for sure. Here's Bletchley. Already up to line speed, which is nice, considering the atrocious weather. Do I have them on dimmed or full? I have them on full. There's East-West Rail, heading off toward Oxford. Still no trains running on that. Seriously, the line has been built, the stations are there, the infrastructure is there, but there are no trains running. Pretty bonkers. So yeah. Like this one, most of the Evero services are non-stop between Milton Keynes Central and Euston or vice versa on this route. A couple stop at Watford Junction like we did in the last video, but yeah. I must say, the sounds on the 805 are far better than the other IETs in this game. The running sounds, just the electric motor sounds are not recycled from the 377 for some reason, like the other ones are. Pendo. So yeah, I believe there might be some... I'm not entirely sure like what changes have been done to the timetable and what changes there are in the full timetable compared to the reduced one. Yeah, you'll just have to go and have a look at the patch notes for yourself. Honestly, hang on. Now that I think about it, I could just pull... Wait a minute. I'm just going to pull them up real quick. If I can... no. Yeah, I'm going to pull them up in a minute. Yeah, coming up on the 90. Let's get minimum brakes on the go. It seems as though the 805 is running better than it was, and the West Coast Mainline South honestly seems to be running better than it was. I think there were some optimizations done to the Class 805. Ooh, yeah, minimum brake got us down in plenty of time. That is very nice. And yeah. So, yeah, I need to try and bring up the patch notes while trying to drive a train at the same time. Never a good sign. But yeah, the Class 805 will layer onto West Coast Mainline Trent Valley, and you'll be able to do a continuous run along the whole Trent Valley in this thing, from Crewe to Milton Keynes, without stopping on some runs. On some runs, I think. And yeah, that'll be, I think, if you stay at 100, I think if you do a continuous run with no stops, that's an hour of pure high-speed running. Not even the longest route in this game can match that. Like, basically for all the other high-speed routes, you have to stop in between. On Kassel-Würzburg, for instance, you stop at Fulda. On Leipzig-Dresden, you stop at Riesa. But, yeah, on Trent Valley, you'll be able to do a full end-to-end run, and it'll take you about an hour, which honestly sounds like a lot of fun. I might... And yeah, the Evero timetable on West Coast Mainline South already has layers built in for the Class 807 and the Class 350/4 that are coming with Trent Valley as well. So yeah, that's good. That's going to provide even more timetable variety on this route. I'm honestly probably going to pick up Trent Valley at some point, just so I can do like a full Euston to Carlisle run if I want to. But I won't pick it up for a while. I think definitely wait for Trent Valley and Crewe Preston to go on sales, at least like 30% off, say. Yeah, I do love the running sounds. Having seen a ton of IETs in real life, mostly GWER, I believe I've seen a Trans-Pennine Class 802. And I've been on an LNER 800. Oh. Wait, was that a neutral section? I didn't know neutral sections were a thing on this route. Fair play, developers. $35 miles to go with 25 minutes to get there. So yeah, Trent Valley will provide a much longer high-speed run than West Coast Mainline South, or even Birmingham Crewe can currently provide, because like really the only high-speed section on Birmingham Crewe is between Stafford and Crewe, where it joins up with the West Coast Mainline Trent Valley, which will also be included in the Trent Valley route. The bit between Stafford and Crewe will be recycled from Birmingham Crewe, but all the other scenery, except for Milton Keynes Central Station itself and a bit of track around there, will be brand new. And all aboard are going a bit nuts, I gotta say. Like, fair play developers for, like, doing 108 miles of track. Like, Crewe just the bit around Crewe and a bit around and to the bit around Stafford, that's not new, and it's just going to be recycled, which honestly I don't really care about. It's a pretty small section of the route, but yeah, I think the only trouble I have with the route coverage on Trent Valley is the lack of Northampton Loop, which means the 350 services will not be continuous. You'll have to stop them before the loop and then continue them after the loop, which is very annoying. But for express runs, the route will be... For UK express runs, I have the feeling Trent Valley will be unbeatable. Here's Jeddington, probably my favourite station on the route for train spotting, because you have 350 stop here, but the fast services just barrel straight through. Full change log. So yeah, here's the Class 805 patch notes. Improved timetable stability and reliability across multiple services. Performance optimization to help reduce crashes and memory issues. I think I can definitely tell that I'm getting a higher frame rate with the Class 805 on this route, which is excellent. Added settings for reduced timetables on all platforms to improve performance. We're running the full timetable anyway, just because we get the full experience on the full timetable. Because I'm on a PC, I have the option to do that. Looking at you, Frankfurt S-Bahn. I'm still... That's the reason I won't get Frankfurt S-Bahn to this day. I refuse to get it because in support of my console brethren who still are denied access to the full timetable on that route. Added and corrected a number of Avanti and LNWR services. So yeah, I think there's quite a few more LNWR local stoppers than there used to be. Yeah, and I think I'll definitely pick up Birmingham to Crewe, simply because then I can do Crewe to New Street, and it'll provide a bit of variety, and I'll also add the two 350 variants. But yeah, I want to wait until that route goes on like a 60% sale at least. Reduce the frequency of certain fault events. That was a thing. That was something on the 805. Before the faults would just be a bit mental, and how much time, about the time in which a number of faults would occur, and it would just do many faults over a short amount of time. Improved Class 805 speed limit behavior, improved weather glass and mask visuals. I think the weather visuals on the windscreen are definitely a bit better than they were. There's Pendo. Fixed issues with brakes and brakes and AWS TPWS self-test behavior. Fixed several service count, routing, timing, and destination display issues. Fixed a propulsion changeover issue that could cause crashes. Develop a note as part of optimization work across all the timetables. In addition to the above notes, the Xbox Series S timetable will be reduced to support optimal performance, here's Train, which I'm not too surprised about. All the other Gen 9 consoles that are available on the market have 16 gigabytes of RAM like my computer does, while the Series S only has 10, and it definitely suffers on bigger timetables on routes like, I don't know, Birmingham Crewe. So I'm not surprised they've done that. Built Everroad timetable changes on West Coast Mainline South, removed London Underground AI at Queen's Park, removed Avanti non-stop AI services to Birmingham, Manchester and Glasgow, and removed a small number of playable 390 services at peak time. I think that's done to improve performance. So yeah, basically like reduce the number of services, reduce the load, which is a bit sad. But yeah, on Birmingham Crew, for the Birmingham Crew Class 805 timetable, removed static AI, reduced AI at crew such as Northern Transport for Wales and East Midlands train services, and removed some AI Avanti services between staff and crew. Yeah, it seems to be timetable reductions across the board, really. I think all the board are just too enthusiastic, and consoles just can't handle it. On Cardiff City Network, fixed the bogie placement and rotation on the Transport for Wales Class 150. On Birmingham to Crew, there's quite substantial Birmingham to Crew notes. Change notes. Fast 350. Probably heading up to Crew. Glad to see my LNWR branding patch still works. Lovely jubbly. Improved overall performance across Birmingham to Crew, including around Birmingham New Street and between Wolverhampton and Birmingham. Reduced blurry textures and improved memory efficiency. Yeah, I was watching Liam Does Simulation stream on Twitch the other day, and he was testing the new update on Birmingham Crew, and the memory, and he was definitely getting far less blurry textures on an Xbox Series S than before. Okay, back up to 110. Added a variety of route-wide scenery fixes and triple polish. Improved lighting in Sandwell and Dudley and ramps at Penkridge. Updated scenery scenario designer pathing to ensure all paths work correctly. Fixed incorrect collision issues in several areas. Fixed various catenary gaps across the route. Fixed station announcements, so terminating announcements now play correctly. Fixed issues affecting scenario completion, so that scenarios are now fully completable. Oh no. Just got out of the seat by accident. Whoops, I meant to hit D to reduce my throttle, and I hit E instead, got out of the seat. Vigilance didn't go, thank goodness, but yeah, that was another 805, very nice. Corrected scenario, intra-outro messaging, re-simulated the timetable following track and service updates, fixed timetable-related issues, including delays at Birmingham New Street and freight visibility issues, fixed services not displaying correctly on passenger information screen boards, fixed certain services with incorrect on-foot spawning, which, to be fair, wasn't really limited to Birmingham Crew. There's some services on, for instance, Cajon Pass to this day, which still spawn you on foot, and yeah, that's the only one I can remember off the top of my head. And various localization improvements throughout the route. And here's an important note. Rail tours have been removed from both Birmingham Crew timetables to try and improve performance. I believe they're going to try to add them back, but yeah, the rail tours are now gone. Class 86, Class 87, Flying Scotsman, all of those rail tours are gone now. On the Class 350, there's a number of fixes. Added a Doppler effect to the Class 350's horn. Added a new tooltip for setting up the reverser to neutral in the safety systems tutorial. Improved horn fades, and now it fades correctly with distance. Improved suspension systems across the fleet. Reworked and optimized the texture sets to improve performance. Resolved objective issues in the 350 tutorial. Fixed an issue with window textures flashing. Fixed incorrect braking behavior. Fixed issues with GSMR switching off unexpectedly. Updated train faults so they behave correctly and no longer appear when disabled. Fixed incorrect train animation issues. Corrected livery designer issue for the Class 350-1. Fixed seating issues where NPCs would occupy the same seat, or players could sit in occupied seats. Fixed HUD flickering caused by suspension behavior. Fixed faults not working correctly on supported units, and fixed AWS ramp issues. So yeah, a considerable number of changes for the 350. Presumably that would apply to both the Birmingham Crew 350, and they'll also apply to the Trent Valley 350, and maybe the West Coast Mainline South 350, I'm not entirely sure. because it doesn't specify which 350 it is that got fixed. So I presume it's the Birmingham Crew and West Coast Mainline South versions. For the class 390, Pendolino applied suspension improvements to improve overall behavior and optimize textures to improve memory usage. Great Western Express Remaster, Riviera Line got stuffed, Class 220 got stuffed, East Coast Mainline got suspension improvements, the GBR Class 802 didn't, the Great British Rail Class 802 didn't have a livery fix, so yeah, even on ultra settings, the GBR 802 has pretty blurry liveries, and like some bits are sharp and others are not when they should be sharp. So hopefully 80 miles in the Class 805, not bad. Should be 80.5 miles, but there you go. Coming up on the Watford Tunnel here. So that means we're coming up on the Watford Junction Station, into the tunnel. Just keep the wiper on. Railpool Vectron, one fix for the BR101 expert on Castle Würzburg pack, few fixes for Stuttgart Heilbronn, quite a bit of fixes for Dresden Leipzig, few fixes on the BR442 Talent 2, few signal improvements on German routes, couple of updates for Dresden Riesa, which is no longer obtainable. You have to get Dresden Leipzig, and then you also get a key for Dresden Riesa. I don't use Dresden Riesa anymore, and just use Dresden Leipzig since it's a longer route and has better route coverage, even if it's not as good in some ways. Number of fixes to the DBBR 147, couple of fixes for Frankfurt S-Bahn coming up on Watford Junction here, so we'll start seeing overground surfaces. Couple of fixes for the BR423, few fixes for Frankfurt Fulda, interestingly, and a couple of fixes for the BR114 from, what is it, from Frankfurt Fulda as well. There goes the Watford DC line off toward Watford High Street. How's performance doing? 43. That's not bad on this route. West Coast Mainline South is still not very optimized. Yeah, I probably will get Trent Valley at some point and Preston Crew on sale. But yeah, Trent Valley hopefully will have a much better launch, especially on console, than Birmingham Crew did. So we will see. There's the Watford DC line coming back. For some reason, the Watford DC line has fourth rail, despite the fact that the Class 710s that run on it only use third rail. It's pretty interesting. 13 miles to go with 12 minutes to get there. Should be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be absolutely fine. So yeah, there's quite a few fixes in this pack. Let's see if there's anything new about Trent Valley that I missed. Another Pendo. There's a 710. I must admit the 710 is a decent unit. It's a bit sad that it's the only Aventra in the game at the moment. think I need to just get a bit ahead just so I can sneak it in the frame and it doesn't affect the framing of the image too much. There we go. Just take that. Hello game? Okay. When I came out of photo mode, game was frozen. Though I could still move my camera around for some reason. Very interesting. Yeah, it's a bit annoying how the IETs are limited to 110 while Pendos can go 125 on the West Coast Main Line, but yeah, I think what I'm going to enjoy most on Trent Valley and the Pendolino runs, finally we can give the Pendolino a chance to finally stretch her legs for a decent high-speed run. Because on West Coast Mainline South, the Pendolino is just a caged animal. Like, genuinely. Yeah, I probably won't ever get Birmingham Crew, since I'm just not that interested in the route itself, really. But I think I will get Trent Valley. But, yeah. So, yeah, here's the vital Trent Valley information you need to do. You need to know it's already been available to wishlist on Steam for a considerable amount of time. A bit of history on Trent Valley. So yeah, the two forms of motive power included are both not new to Train Sim World in a technical sense, but they're new variants of stock we already had. So yeah, the two forms of stock are going to be the Avanti Class 807 Evero, which is basically just a Class 805 but without the diesel engine, and then the Class 350/4, which is just a new variant of the 350, which we already had. So we're just passing Harrow and Wealdstone here. So we should now start seeing underground services. Oh, the 807 can get up to 125 miles an hour, but the 805s are limited to 110? Are they? Dovetail might have got that wrong, I'm not sure. The Class 350/4 is, yeah, just another variant of the 350. Nothing really new to report there. Yeah. There are 478 playable services in timetable mode on the Trent Valley, but there are a total of 2,300 services, which is pretty impressive and makes it one of the busiest British routes in the game. I think only surpassed by the Brighton Mainline of 2022 and Great Western Express Remastered, which the 2017 timetable from earlier this year has like 4,000 services in total. A range of scenarios. So yeah, here are the trains that will be added to the timetable. The Avanti West Coast, if you own the relevant adult, of course. The Avanti West Coast Class 390. The Avanti West Coast Class 805. The Cross Country 220 Voyagers with 2 services plus AI at Stafford and Tamworth High Level. And the Class 350/2 and /3 from Birmingham Crew. The 350/1 from Euston Milton Keynes. The Direct Rail Services Class 66 from the terrible Engineering Express Pack. The DB Class 66 from West Coast Mainline South, the Railhead Treatment Train, the Rail Operations Group Class 37, here is Wembley Central, I believe. So yeah, now we're coming up on the big yard here, which there aren't too many trains in this yard, I gotta say. Few passenger services, and maybe if you're lucky a freight service, but yeah, this yard is one of the busiest in Britain, and there's just which I can honestly understand why there are very few freight services there, because it would just kill consoles. And probably kill my machine too, to be fair. 90 limit coming up with 6.5 miles to go. Northern Class 323 at Wolverton Works Run and Crew AI from Glossop, not Manchester Airport commuter. You have to have Glossop line for that to show up, not the improved version from Manchester Airport commuter. Transport for Wales Class 150 and 153 ECS moves in AI from Cardiff City Network. East Midlands Trains Class 158 Express Sprinter from Midland Mainline. West Midlands Class 170s at Nuneaton from West Midlands and Cross Country Pack. And Rivet did Cross Country Class 170s at Nuneaton and Tamworth. Cargo Line Petroleum, so Volume 1, used for AI freight through Tamworth, and Cargo Line Aggregates, Volume 2, used for AI freight through Nuneaton. So yeah, you can do container routes between Daventry and Crewe with the DRS Class 66. So yeah, The Class 390 only does limited and non-stop services. So yeah. Litchfield Trent Valley, there's a picture of it, and it looks considerably improved compared to its rendition from Birmingham Cross City. Like, it looks like a genuinely different station. It looks incredible, I gotta say. Light engine. The rail operations group seems to be light engine, and Trent Valley is going to be a premium priced route, so £33 sterling, 40 euros or 45 US dollars. Honestly, that's not surprising considering the length of the route. It's a bit annoying considering we don't have any new rolling stock, but honestly, if you have Birmingham to Crewe, West Coast Mainline South, the 805 and the 390, you'll have a pretty complete modern rail scene for the route. Yeah, and there's also been some rumors about Alan Thompson's sim finally fixing the Class 90. About time. The 90 was and still is one of the most broken add-ons in TSW history. Passing Queen's Park, there's a London Underground AI coming out of the tunnel from Elephant Castle. It's so annoying how we have to switch. If we want to do a full Bakerloo line run, we have to do Harrow and Wealdstone to Queen's Park on West Coast Mainline South, and then you have to route hop to the old Bakerloo line, to the older, pretty crummy Bakerloo line add-on if you want to go as far as Elephant and Castle. It's very annoying, like that the section through to Elephant and Castle wasn't included with West Coast Mainline South, because that would have actually improved. Like, yeah, then you could have done a continuous run all the way through, but no. Slowing down for the 55. .55 limit with a 50 limit coming up. 2 miles to Euston with 3 minutes to get there. Yeah. I must admit, like, yeah, the improvements all aboard have done are pretty good. It's just, why did these buttons break? There's a, yeah, as I said, there's a fix on the TrainSim community website, but I'm not downloading it simply because I want to show you how broken the buttons are in its current state, and I don't want to whitewash that. Hopefully there's an emergency hotfix in the works, because that's a pretty game-breaking issue, I'm not gonna lie. 50 limit in force. As Euston comes into rendering distance, I suspect the frame rate to fall dramatically, but we'll see. How many trains are loaded up? Quite a few. Couldn't count that. There's also quite a few 350s in the yard here. So yeah, I'll probably get Trent Valley. Not on release, but maybe on like a 30% off sale. And I'll probably give Birmingham Crewe a miss for now. Maybe if it goes like on 80% off, I might pick it up just for the extra 350 variants, but yeah. For now, I'm not going to get it for the foreseeable future. First AWS of the day. Start slowing down. Oh, we might get there late, but hey, a minute late. It's British Rail. Who cares? Oh boy. That speed limit reduction wasn't on the track monitor. What the heck? Oh no, it was. It was, and I stupidly missed it. Oh. Oh, that one's... Oh. I'm not hitting the speed restrictions today, am I?
London Euston. Please mind the gap when leaving the train and step onto the platform before removing heavy luggage and pushchairs.
Alright. Oh, wow. A lot of traffic coming into Euston this afternoon. Pendolino leaving, 350 coming in. Yeah, honestly, doing a 350 run from Euston up to Crewe, which is like, I think the longest LNWR service there is. Yeah, oh my goodness. That is 18 frames a second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. If my computer's having this amount of trouble, oh boy, the Series S guys are going to have a lot of fun. Let's get under 15 so TPWS doesn't go off, and we need to switch the wipers off since we're now under a canopy. Yeah, oh boy. That's 20 frames a second. Honestly, I'll take that for more services, I'll be honest. Turn down the headlights to dimmed, just so we don't blind anyone coming into the station. So yeah, service from Crewe terminating here. So I imagine 1 Alpha 26 will also be a service playable on Trent Valley. Okay, now that we've got the trains out of the way, it's now running at 30 frames, which is honestly a lot better. Welcome to Euston. Honestly, Euston is probably the most depressing London terminus because it got rebuilt in the 60s and it's really brutalist now. And it's just, ugh, just looks awful. Okay. And set the DRA. Put the tail lights on. Arrived 40 seconds late, but hey, for a British train, I'll take it. It's not bad. Objective complete. Okay, platinum medal. Lost 100 points to speeding. So yeah, 2 yards stop accuracy on the money. So yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications. Go follow my Twitch if you haven't yet. Please do become a channel member if you could afford it on YouTube. And please do let me know if you are going to get Trent Valley or not, and if so, when will you get it? And I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.